Marketers know how to exploit human adaptations, and one of them I'd like to talk to you about is the anchoring bias. Essentially, the anchoring bias is placing what I'm going to call a decoy price that then sets an anchor in a prospect's mind whenever they're making a purchase. This is a cognitive bias that many marketers will go ahead and use to essentially be able to sell a product at a higher amount, as well as setting expectations for consumers. So if you've ever gone to a restaurant and you've seen perhaps a $75 lobster dinner or steak dinner or something like that, it certainly makes looking at an $18 hamburger as being something that sounds awful reasonable. And that's because the anchor price of a $75 meal sets your expectations here, and you were looking at the differential category that brought you down to an $18 hamburger, and you said, wow, it's a really good value. On the other side, if you had gone to the restaurant just straight up and only seen an $18 hamburger, in all likelihood you would have said, wow, this is pretty pricey for a hamburger. It better be some premium stuff made out of filet mignon or something like that. We often see this exploited in stores. Kohl's is one of the places my wife goes all the time, and it seems like everything at Kohl's is on sale, 50% off or something along that line, because the regular price represents the anchor, and then the 50% off. Wow, that looks like a really good deal. But when you actually look at what the 50% is, it might be very comparable to what you might purchase that same item at a Walmart or something along that line. Another place that I see anchoring bias is often used is like in restaurants or some place where there's some expectation of how long it might be. So if you've gone to a restaurant and the maitre d' says, listen, we're to be about a 15-minute wait, and then it takes 20 minutes to actually get a table, you're probably going to be really upset right out of the get-go because the anchor was 15 minutes and they exceeded it. On the other side of the coin, if they said, listen, the time to get a table is 30 minutes and they offered you that same table in 20 minutes, you would feel somewhat elated because the anchor point was 30 minutes and they actually brought it to you in less time. Now, the anchoring bias works really good when the consumer is lacking some degree of evidence or knowledge about what the actual costs are going to go ahead and be. So what I always tell a lot of my clients, especially if they're in the services business or even in the product selling business or something like that, especially when it comes to pricing, is to offer some very high price items, something you probably never intend to ever sell, all right? But it actually, and if that's the first number that they see, right, at the highest price point, everything below that seems to be a reasonable price for what you're going to go ahead and get. It's a very powerful marketing tool. All marketers understand how to exploit that. I encourage you to take a look and see how using the anchor bias when your business might be beneficial. If you found this useful, please be sure to check out Steve BizBlog for other valuable information.